My name is Bulka, and I'm a founding board member of the LYTE Collective. Turn on the news and turn on the radio. There's a lot of people who are getting hose-bagged out there, and this agency is about stopping that. I choose to do this work because I think anybody who's trying to live a thoughtful life looks around and sees what's happening. And if you want to be someone who's living in truth, you can't look the other way. You have to point something out and say, hey, this is unfair, this is unequal, and it's up to the rest of us to be the equalizers. The most unique thing about the LYTE Collective is the approach on how the agency is building. We're building ourselves to be flexible, to give what people who are experiencing homelessness, what they actually want and what they need. We're going to give them what we think they need, education, vocation, things like that, but also what they want and what we know they need, recreation, music, access to gymnasiums, anything that a normal person in a supportive lifestyle would have. Think about yourself when you're 19 years old, how much you got from your parents, your relatives, your friends, and then think about if all those people disappeared, what would you have? Those are the things we want to give back to the people we're working with. I think a unique thing that I'm bringing to the LYTE Collective is technology. I've worked in social services agencies for over 15 years. Recently got a computer science degree, and one of the things that's always missing is good technology, whether it's getting a good network set up, server, anything with technology. Social services have to usually spend a lot of money to get outside. I'd like to try to take those outside resources that are more expensive and make them free and bring them in like that. I think that's also what hopefully the youth will gain. Thinking about how technology in the modern world, how does it affect things? We've thought about, does it make more sense to show people how to fix a cell phone than how to flip a burger? I think that's a real thing. There's a demand for that, and at a place like the LYTE Lounge, that's something we can kind of put together, a cell phone repair shop, things like that. So technology is what I want to offer people. Sure, I think that we filmed the building, the LYTE Lounge, in virtual reality, which means you're in 360 video, you look around, you look behind you, you can see what's behind you, you turn your head, the audio changes. What we're trying to give people is a real experience of what it's like to be in the building. The state it's in right now, which is in disrepair, and the state that it's going to be in a couple months from now or years from now, depending on how much people are willing to help us, where it's going to be. When you walk into that space, when you walk into an area that's going to be the music studio, you'll hear a voice of Dr. Brian Kelly, who's doing his research at Loyola University, who worked with us for years doing research on music. You'll hear about his research into music programming, what it means to have a music studio at a space like that, what it does for the youth. You'll be able to look around, see the changes. Casey Holsteiner, our executive director, if you step into her office, you can read her dissertation. It's the stories of what's been going on the South Side for people experiencing homelessness for a long time. And we want people to be able to understand what that is. Not with letting them peer into someone's life, but peer into our virtual reality model of what's happening in the building. Well, I hope that it does what it's done for people over the last 10 years that we've used that kind of model, which is it gives people a passion and a reason to get up in the morning. A lot of people think if you just give someone a sandwich and some soup, like I heard someone say the other day, you know, why isn't that good enough? Well, it's because a sandwich and a soup doesn't do anything to, you know, enrich the soul necessarily. Now, music or poetry or writing does do that. And what we found out of doing an innovative program like that, really concentrating on music, creative writing, poetry, is that if you can teach someone to have a passion, then they'll have a reason to want to get up and get a job. You know, if the only job I can get is at McDonald's right now, you know, maybe my life isn't that much interesting, and I can't blame that person. I worked at Arby's before, it wasn't that interesting. But there was other things that were going on in my life, creative endeavors that I was doing that was making my life meaningful in some kind of way. And what we noticed is you give people that, all of a sudden their happiness level rises and they're more motivated to do other things because they have something in their life, something that they find to have value. Music studios and things like that are things that are expensive and difficult to put together and difficult to find people how to teach other people how to use them. We're doing all that for free, so we're presenting them a little incubator of creativity that we say just go in there and have a good time, experiment, create, and we'd love to hear what you produce. And a process like that, you should come to our virtual reality website and you'll hear some of the audio documentaries that people will do, and you'll hear youth speak about what it means to have that option in their life, to record that music, to put that history down in an audible recording. I would imagine if nothing is done in the city of Chicago for youth experiencing homelessness, poverty, these things that we're talking about, you're going to continue to see violence rise. You're going to continue to see people shot, people killed. You're going to continue to see people who are living in other parts of the country look at Chicago and even have a greater misunderstanding of what's happening. You know, a lot of people look at Chicago and think it's full of violence, which it is. But the question is, it's not like we had a bunch of crazy people from violent Landville move here and set up shop in Chicago. These are conditions that produce this poverty, this hopelessness, there's no other option. This is where violence comes from. So if we do nothing, we'll continue to see the same exact response. We'll see the same exact thing. You'll see the same conversation from the police. You'll see the same conversation from the school. You'll see the same conversation from the parents and from the youth. And it's the same conversation that's been happening for the last 50 or 60 years. And we'll see that same conversation. We're trying to change it so that conversation doesn't have to happen anymore. I would hope that the takeaway in 10 years is that no one knows what the LYTE Collective is because it's not necessary anymore. That's the hope. The reality is, the best that we can possibly hope for is that the LYTE Collective will become a place where when you walk in 10 years from now, there'll be 10 years of music history recorded and documented there. There'll be 10 years worth of plays that have been performed there. There'll be 10 years worth of scholarships that have been earned there, 10 years worth of basketball trophies to be won. So we're starting now. When you come in 10 years from now, you look back, we hope to leave indicators of our work so it's clear. And the way to do that really is to take the things that we're doing very seriously, treat them with tenderness and save them, and that is the proof that we'll have for people. So I think 10 years from now, I like to walk through the LYTE Collective, through the LYTE Lounge, and I expect to see a mirror of what's happened there the last 10 years. You can go to our website at LYTEcollective.com. Anyone who wants to give back, you want to volunteer, you want to donate 50 cents, you want to donate $500,000, go to our website, LYTEcollective.org, and learn more about our programming. We have the donate button there. If you want to get involved more, call our number, leave us an email, tell us what you want to do. Maybe you're a mathematician, maybe you're a garbage man. Whatever you're doing, we're interested in teaching people how you got where you got. What is your story? How did you get there? These are the things that we want to show people. The LYTE Collective, live your truth everywhere.